Hey everyone, welcome back on my channel. I'm really happy to have you here today. We're gonna talk about books. So I'm really excited. Get cozy, maybe grab yourself a cup of tea. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you a story, but just get cozy, it's fun. So if you're just starting out on your path in witchcraft slash Wicca slash nature-based belief, today I am gonna tell you about 5 books that I really enjoyed and that I think are great for beginners on the witchcraft path. So if you're a little like me and you like to learn from books a little more than from the internet, then this video might be for you. All 5 books that I chose have one thing in common, and it's that they're quite easy to read and they're quite small, because I know some people are not used to reading a lot, so I kept that in mind. 3 of them are going to be a little bit more about how to do this or use that, or what is this, what is that, so a bit more of theory, if I can say. And 2 of them are more about history. So let's start. My first book is The Little Book of Pocket Spells. This one is the French edition, obviously. It's written by Akasha Moon, and as you can see, it is a small book. Honestly, could fit in that pocket. I could carry it. So obviously this one is a little smaller, so it doesn't have like a lot of things in it, but it's really easy to read. Every page is like one thing. I think it's a good one. You could, I mean, learn a few things without going too deep in the topic, obviously. Sometimes learning about things can be overwhelming when there's a lot of info, so just like knowing about a few things. Or I like it because it could be, say you're going somewhere, if you're going, I don't know, to school, I don't know why you would do spells at school, or if you're going places and you don't want to carry big books, this could be just a good tool to remember the basics and the most important things. So they talk about each day of the week, what spell can be done on that day. They have a few spells, a few recipes, some important dates. There's a page about colors. They don't have all of the colors, but you know, it's just like this color is that, It's sort of really just some notes that you don't need to write yourself. So that's why I think it's kind of a fun book, and it's cute too, like it's... The second book is from the lovely Harmony Nice. She's, I mean, if you're here, you probably already know her. She's probably the most famous witch on YouTube, and she wrote a book which is so cute, to be honest. It's called Wicca, A Modern Guide to Witchcraft and Magic. Yes, there's a bunch of little pictures in there, like... And I love me a good book with pictures, because I'm a child, apparently. There's this one picture, it's really cute as well. Very inspiring. What I like about that book is that she talks about her own experience and like how she became a witch, and sort of puts her own opinion in on certain topics, but also she's very specific on like, this is my opinion and you don't have to do it that way. Some other books are just like, do this and that, So she's leaving a lot of space to creativity, I guess, and personal identity while still explaining stuff. She also talks about quite a few topics. She talks about like the different full moons during the year, and she also gives like a bit of insight on how to be a witch in the city, because often like you get this idea of like witches that live in the middle of nowhere and have their own garden and just like go and walk in a forest all the time, which is honestly goals. It's not everyone's lifestyle, but you can still be a witch and live in the city, and she gives some tips on how to do so and how to be a bit more connected with nature in the middle of a concrete jungle. So I think that's really interesting. She talks about astrology as well, which isn't in many books about witchcraft. Now, of course, this one is a little bit more focused on Wicca, but I think it's still very interesting if you're not sure yet if you want to be a Wiccan or if you're a Wiccan, or like there's still a lot of things in there that are quite general, if I can say. That's interesting, and I liked it. I liked it. My third book, I'm not sure if it's available in English, so this one might be more for my francophone pals. If I translate it, Crystals, yay! And it's about, you guessed it. So this one is of course a little bit more specific on the topic, but I really liked it because I mean, even in Harmony's book, she talks about crystals, but like there's so so much of everything else in it, right? I really like that one because it's a bit more specific on some crystals. So like this is so small, I don't even know how many pages there are. There's like 62 pages and there's so much in there. So they talk about like overall 30 crystals that are, according to the author, the more efficient, the most efficient, but there's also like different ways to use it. So infused in oils or in water. They also talk about meditation, what kind of crystals to put in each room of the house. There's a bit of science in there as well, like how they're made. They have some cute little drawings as well. I'm a child. No, but I'm very visual, so I like to see things while I read or while I learn about something, because then it's a bit more tangible in my mind. She explains how to take care of crystals, which is something I haven't been doing. Like dusting them, I don't never dust my crystals. How to purify them, how to cleanse them, different shapes of crystals, the different colors and what it does. What I like is that when she talks about the specific crystals, we actually have pictures of the crystal, which doesn't happen often. I like to see what the crystal looks like. Show you. For each of them, you have like where they're from, like where they grow, I guess if I can say that, what they're made of, what type of system they're from, what chakra it corresponds to, even the astrological signs. So in 62 pages, I really learned a lot about crystals. So again, I don't think it's in English, but if you read French or if you want to learn French, don't learn it with that. You're not gonna understand a single thing. So yeah, cristaux, zéro blabla, et le dicté. I love how my voice in French is so much deeper. I'm just like, and in English I'm like, Let's get into the history bit. We're going with a tiny history book. It's called Witches and Witch Hunts. The title is very self-explanatory. It's from Milton Meltzer, winner of the Laura Ingalls Wilder Award. You know, I bought this because it was kind of cheap. I bought it on Thrift Books. I saw that it was from Scholastics Inc. I don't know, in my mind I thought it was a book for children until I read a word that I didn't understand at all. Turns out Scholastic is not only for children. Mind blown. But anyway, yeah, so this is for adults, I guess. But it's very small, very short chapters. I mean, it talks about the history of witch hunts, but it has a lot of specific stories that happen to like a specific person. Like, oh, she got accused of witchcraft probably because of that. This is what happened. There's even a letter that's been written by, I think, the mayor of a city, if I remember well, who was accused of witchcraft. So I don't know, there's a lot of like facts in there, and I thought it was really interesting. Also very sad to see what happened and to have a bit more of an insight, because there's like thousands of stories, but we often only hear about Salem. At least here in North America, there's like this Salem thing, and it even talks about more recent events that happened that were not described as witch hunts because people didn't believe in witches, but were essentially the same thing and had essentially the same goal. Yeah, very insightful, very interesting, short chapters, so you can just read like one small chapter a day about Hitler or Joan of Arc. You decide. A history of persecution, witches and witch hunts, Milton Meltzer. Now, for our last book, I love that book so much, and it's called The Occult book. Now, they say don't judge a book by its cover, but I did for this one. I saw it and I bought it. I mean, have you seen this beauty? But it's not only pretty, it's also very interesting. The Occult book, a chronological journey from alchemy to Wicca by John Michael Greer, who's quite renowned in the occult world, I believe. So he knows a bunch of stuff, and he put it all in here. It's just, oh, it's so pretty. I like books. As it says, it just goes from pretty much the beginning of times, or at least from what we know, to modern day. The introduction is this long, okay? This is the longest chapter. Every other chapter is one page, and then it has a lovely picture next to it, and then everything you need to know is written right here, and it's so concise, but it's so specific. And then you have the year here. It's just so well made. Starting with our pal Pythagoras. I used to hate him in high school because all I thought he was doing was like playing with triangles and trying to figure out their fucking sides and how long they were. I used to wake up in the morning and see my door slightly open, I would see a triangle shape, and I was just like, how long is this side. Like, I was traumatized. But turns out that's not all he did. And he was pretty much into occult things. Like a lot of people back then. Talking about the pagans. Wait, where are my druids? Where are my druids? My pals, the druids. We talk about Jesus, but in a more occult way. The witches' trials, again, for a very long time, because this went on and on and on and on. The Philosopher's Stone talks about some really famous books that helped the knowledge on some occult things to go on. They talk about some important occult groups like the Freemasons. 1848, the birth of spiritualism. There's astrology in there. There's the witches, but also alchemy, a lot of things. And it ends talking about 2012. There's a lot of info in there. Yeah, I really enjoyed reading that. I learned so many things, and I don't think it's too hard to understand if you're just starting out, because it's literally just a timeline of how not only witchcraft but all of the occult evolved. And I think nowadays witchcraft is a lot intertwined with everything else that's occult. Out of all these 5, if you should get one, I would say this one, but this is more of a history thing. But I love them all, and I hope you will too. So yeah, we're done. This was my suggestions for 5 books that can be read by beginners on the witchcraft path. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you liked my suggestions. Did you already read any of those? What did you think of them? Do you have suggestions for me? Things I should read? Let me know down in the comments. I really like to have a book conversation. I love books. Yeah, so let me know what you thought. Please, if you liked this video, subscribe to my channel. It would make me very happy. And I've got a lot more of these kinds of videos coming, so yeah, you should subscribe. Like, why not? Also like this video, and again, let me know what book out of all these 5 you would like to read. So yes, we're done. I'll see you next week with another video. You can follow me on all of my social medias. In the meantime, to see what I'm doing, if I do anything, I might just post a lot about my cat. See you next Friday, and I hope you're doing well. I'm sending you vibes your way, and bye-bye. I'm off to read some more.